Okay, we're live. Okay, I'm gonna try it again. Keep this up. What's the TIG? Still says that Carrie's unable to join. Okay, it says that Carrie is unable to join. That's also another reason why I'm going to be taking a little break for a week, is I think everyone's going live so much at the same time. It's like, it's just live. I know. 1 second, they're hitting me up. And I think Instagram is just getting super overwhelmed, so I want to give them a week to get caught up, because it makes it really, really hard to run this show. There we go. Okay. AKA IG, put your shit together. That's what I'm saying nicely. All right, so now producer, actress, activist Kerry Washington is joining Bright Minded. Oh, here we go. Yeah!
Ah!
I am so happy to see you. This is like,
likewise. I'm so sorry.
This show is always like so much fun, except when it comes to, these are one of the things which we're learning a valuable lesson at this time, that we can't control everything.
Surrender, surrender, surrender.
That's the mantra. That's the mantra of this time.
That you're doing this. I love that you're doing this. It's so.
I am enjoying it so much. You know, I kind of created it at a time of just feeling that fear, feeling that anxiety, feeling that panic, and feeling really disconnected and you know, kind of singular. And I'm used to feeling, you know, since I was a little girl, like, I know you're pretty, you know, close with your dad. Your dad is hilarious. I see him on Instagram. But my dad took me like everywhere with him. He would just like take me on tours, and me and Zoe Kravitz was on the show yesterday, and she was like, why did our parents just pass us around to whoever? I was just always in people's hands and always being held and always being hugged. And so then when this time happened, it's something I never really experienced. I'm a total toucher. I love to like lay on my mom's lap and get my hair played with and to touch and to hug. And so feeling that disconnection for the first time in my life, I just started feeling really anxious. And I thought that there has to be a way that we can connect to each other and we can feel that hug without, you know, with keeping ourselves safe and keeping ourselves in quarantine. And so it's just been a really good way to kind of like virtually connect and care. And we're just really lucky to live in a time where we have technology where we can do this.
Yeah, I love it, because I think there's also, like, for me, there's a sense that when I'm in a situation that produces anxiety or fear in me, I want to like close my heart down. And so having these places where we are reminded to keep our hearts open, to connect with people, to like let the feelings flow, don't hold it down, like that to me is the only way to get through this.
Are there any, you know, exercises or tools you use when you feel yourself closing up? Like, you know, it can seem silly, but maybe it even is, you know, laying on the ground and like feeling grounded, or the earth. That's kind of what I do. And I push myself up with my arms and like physically open myself up. Is there something that you do mentally or physically or spiritually?
Yeah, I try to actually just think about my heart as a, like, to picture my heart and to relax it, like to try to relax the muscles around my heart. And then with my kids, I try to, like, we lie on the ground, and if you put a stuffy, like a stuffed animal or anything, on your belly, and so taking the kind of deep breath that makes the stuffed animal rise up, so that everybody's really breathing into your belly and not just that like shallow chest panic breathing. So that
I just started doing that, and I felt like everything comes down, and you just feel, I think it's a really good idea to place something on yourself so you can
Yeah.
actually
See
really
it.
stay accountable and see
Mhm.
it. I'm
Mhm.
so, visual as well. Like that's what I've loved about doing this too, is I've gotten to talk to so many different people about everyone has their own process
Yes.
and you got to respect it. And I think,
Mhm.
that's something that, I'm going to take. I've been doing this for 3 weeks and I'm like loving it so much every single Monday through Friday, 11:30 to 12:30. And, and I love it so much, but I'm going to take this next week to just kind of like go in because I feel like
Mhm.
by doing this show, it's so kind of extra and like
Yeah.
out here and like, even though it's meant to just kind of have conversations, when I'm still in a form of entertainment. And so
Yeah.
I think to just go in and like feel it and then be able to have more to give because you actually replenish yourself.
Even your decision to do that is so beautiful because I think right now, not only do we all have our own process, but like our process changes every day because the circumstances of the world change every day or how it's impacting me changes every day. So to like to have the honesty to say like, okay, this worked for 3 weeks, but I'm going to shift it up a little bit and do what's right for me and then come back to you when I'm ready. Like that kind of honesty is so beautiful and needed. And I'm so grateful.
RuPaul says, yeah, how can you love anybody else if you don't love yourself? And so I just think, like, preach. Ru is everything to me. Like, you just don't, it's like, I'm so obsessed with RuPaul. It's not even right. Like, tonight is one of the episodes. Everything in my house shuts down. Everyone has to, like, turn the phone off, Wi Fi off, so nothing messes with my Apple TV so I can watch or my VH1. Like, I'm just obsessed. But speaking of TV shows that we love, everyone loves Little Fires Everywhere. My mom is like literally freaking obsessed. You're an executive producer and you star in the show. So can you tell us what it's like to work on a female-led team? Like it's just a total powerhouse of female executives.
I loved when you had Reese on.
She was so good.
She's amazing. And I love working with her. I don't know, I think, especially because our show is about being a woman, it's about being a daughter, being a mother, and like how complicated those relationships are. I feel like it was really important for our power structure to be filled with women because it's our experience and we could really bring all of that to the table. And it's not that I don't love working with men. I've worked with amazing men in my career. I'm almost done shooting a film with Ryan Murphy. We had to stop because of quarantine, but it's, there are incredible men in this business who are doing inclusive work, but being on a team of all women, like you just find that you're speaking each other's languages. When you're
Yeah.
telling stories about women, then it should be with other women.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it has nothing to do with like for you and in this case necessarily, like sex or gender. It's just about really understanding and
Yeah.
being able to speak from a place of truth.
Yeah.
That's what the best movies and the best TV shows are honest. And it's not, even though acting is in a way pretend, you find something that's maybe happened to you in your real life that you could use that emotion or the way that you reacted to it, even in this like fantasy world.
You have to tap into like all storytelling. I think this is true in music too when you're doing songwriting. Like if you're not sharing part of your real experience, people smell it. Like what
Oh
you
yeah.
respond to is when you see truth and you go like, oh, I recognize that truth as something that I've lived through or somebody I love has lived through. And that's what makes us feel connected when we
You've
watch.
got to be telling the truth.
Yes.
Yes. Even if someone is a great actor, but you feel like when you're like, I don't know, I just didn't believe them. It might just be because they don't relate
Yeah.
to
They're
what they're
not,
playing.
or they didn't dig enough inside themselves to figure out how they could relate
Could
to.
relate it.
Like that's what I'm
100%.
asking myself is I'm not Mia. I haven't lived Mia's experience, but I have so many experiences in my life that make me understand how she feels. And so a lot of time I'm like, I'm saying her words, but I'm energetically, like my heart is speaking my truth through
Yeah.
her words.
When I did Wrecking Ball, everyone thought I was like crying over my breakup, but I was actually crying over my dog. And my dog had just died. And the whole time I was shooting, there was like a little photo of my dog right underneath the camera.
Yeah.
And it's like, listen, like today, like I feel kind of a sense of relief about being single or being, so I couldn't relate to the song that day, but I'm like, it doesn't matter. Today's the day of the shoot. I gotta find it. What's something that really makes me feel like broken pieces? And it was losing my dog. So you can find those things. And when you're in a scene, I think that's something really helpful. Like I kind of have a picture, like even sometimes I'll have it on my phone. Like I'll just go and look at the person I feel like I'm talking to. So I honestly don't even see the other actor. I see
that person.
someone else. Like when I did Black Mirror, my Aunt Catherine was like a producer that I had grown up working with at one time. And I totally switched it and like put someone else's face. So I wasn't even talking to an actor. I was like saying all the things I never got to say, you know, in my real life. So I wanted to ask you that question just because it's still not the norm in Hollywood seeing
Yeah.
women calling the shots and
Yeah.
having creative control. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
What are some leaders or who are some leaders in this space that you really love? Like, who are some women you want to shine some light on that we should be like digging into their work or that you want
So
to work with?
Lena Waithe is doing phenomenal work. You know, Queen and Slim,
Love.
amazing. But also she has 20s on BET. Like she's killing it, destroying it. Issa Rae, Insecure on HBO. She's doing unbelievable work. Her films too. And I actually directed an episode of Insecure this new season.
So cool.
And I love that environment. I love working with her. Shonda Rhimes, obviously, who I worked with on Scandal. She's a beast. So I feel like there are a lot of really amazing women just like doing it, just telling stories, telling our stories. America Ferrara, Eva Longoria, just a lot of amazing storytellers out there right now.
I bet you're awesome to work with as a director because I feel like you're very like focused, but there's a sense of calm. And when anytime I've worked with directors that have a sense of like, I don't know, just I think it's really important that a director knows what they're looking for and what they want to get out of the actors. There's nothing worse, you know, when you're doing a scene 1,000 times and you're like, what are you looking for?
It's horrifying.
What am I not delivering?
No, it's so true. Everybody wants clarity in leadership. You know what I mean? Like that to me, to be decisive and also to be honest. Like when I don't know something as a producer or director, I say like, I'm not sure, but let's find it together. But I try to do that before the day so that people don't feel like lost on the day. Because as an artist, you're putting your most vulnerable work out there. You want to, your director is going to be able to hold it for you.
Yeah, I've told my dad before I said like, Dad, I'm just lost. And he goes, well, get found. And I was like, okay. Well, okay, fine. Seems easier.
Brene Brown has this expression that I love that like, it's going to be fine in the end. So if it's not fine, it's not the end.
Yeah, exactly. That's perfect.
Isn't that good?
I love that so much. So yeah, your dad is super cute. My dad's also like adorable.
We're very blessed to have such amazing dads.
Yeah, my dad is so cute. Unless you're like a new boo in my life, and then he's like crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
He had this really big German Shepherd who he would tell all my new boyfriends that was a wolf, and it wasn't a wolf. It was just a really big German Shepherd. He was like, yeah, you know, this is a wolf that I've actually trained to live in the house with people, but I can turn it on you when I need to.
Love it.
So he's like just so crazy. But, you know, our family, we're really lucky to have our family as a reliable source. Who are some reliable sources that you're kind of calling upon in this time?
Yeah, I mean, my friends, I love that you talk a lot about like your doctor. For me, therapy is such an important place for me to be able to like meet my reliable self, to be honest. But my husband, my friends, my closest friends, my Scandal girls, Reese, those are all people I really go to. My mom.
I think it's great that you mentioned this therapy because there is just nothing wrong with asking for help and for advice. And also just to have someone that you can just kind of talk to that even just can listen. Because sometimes you can figure it out on your own. You just got to have someone to be some ears.
Yeah, and I think right now we're all trying to be so strong for each other, particularly women. Like we're trying to be strong for our partners or for our kids or for our feed us. So I think it's important to like self-check and make sure like I'm being strong for me and so that I can be strong for other people. Like if I'm pushing my own needs down just to be strong for other people, that's not going to work. And I think a lot about right now, I think a lot about people on the front lines, like the doctors and nurses.
The best.
Like, and getting them the kind of mental health support that they need and, you know, not just supplies, but also services. That's something that's really important to me, right?
I don't think we had an idea of the amount of work and stress until now we're kind of starting to see some heartbreaking images coming from New York. I don't know if that's where you are right now.
So it's where my heart is.
Yeah, and it's just totally devastating. And just, you know, I was talking to Elton about if you're not in a place where you can, actually donate money, donating just your giving your thoughts and your prayers and your appreciation post, I'm sure that means so much to them. So I've been
So
encouraging my
much.
fans just to hold signs and say, we love you and we see you.
Yeah.
And,
You know
there's
who
all,
is making signs for your postal people, right? Like there are people who are delivering things to us every day so that those of us who are staying home are able to get food or get mail or get Clorox or, whatever, waiting on whatever we're needing. And so to make a sign by your mailbox,
I
thanking
love
people,
that.
such a huge, because they are so courageous right now. I'm not in New York, but because I'm from New York, I actually worked with this organization called MedShare,
Yeah.
and they because I gave a larger amount, they allowed me to donate to hospitals in the Bronx specifically, because that's where I'm from, the Boogie Down. And MedShare has always, for like years, for 10 years, MedShare has provided supplies to underserved hospitals. So now they're really working to get supplies to underserved hospitals all over the country, all over the world. So if you can give, that's an amazing organization to give to, MedShare. And yeah, if you can't give financially, no, like just showing support and love, like you're saying, is huge.
Yes, absolutely. And now that we're talking about things that are really important to us, I saw that you were posting and encouraging people to respond to census. So I wanted to kind of, before we close, I wanted to say, if you're watching and you want to make a difference while you're staying safe at home, respond to the 2020 census at 2020census.gov. The census counts every person in the U.S. and it's really important. Not only is the census mandated by the Constitution, but it's the information that's used for the next 10 years to decide how certain funding is allocated and even how many seats our states will get in the U.S. House of Representatives. So every home is supposed to respond. Make sure that you and your family are accounted for. Take advantage of the extra time that you might have during quarantine.
It
And
only takes
go
5 minutes. It only
yes, so it's so fast.
Yeah.
So
And
fast.
it's how we decide how hospitals get, when hospitals are being renovated, how many rooms we need in hospitals, how many supplies hospitals get. A lot of that is allocated because of the census. So as we're recovering from coronavirus, how we improve our schools, like if we don't know how many kids are in a school, those
Absolutely.
schools won't have the numbers of teachers that they need and classrooms that they need. And this only happens every 10 years. It's so important. It's protected. It really is the thing that you can do to show up for your community and make sure that your community has the resources that it needs for the next 10.
I know. 10 minutes, 10 years. Pretty good
Amen.
deal.
Yes.
Pretty good deal. And yeah, and I was just saying the other day on the show, we were talking with an LGBTQ historian, and we were saying we don't want to go back into the pre-COVID-19 world. We want to go back into a better world. Let's go into a world where we're all accounted for, and so we can protect ourselves and prevent crisis like this in the future.
Also to really acknowledge what you're doing, like let's go back into a world where we stay open-hearted and we stay connected to each other and we're looking for the good.
Yes.
You are Monday through Friday.
Yes, agreed. Thank you so much, Carrie. Thank you
Thank
for everything.
you.
Give your family a hug from me and stay safe.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Cutest ever. Okay, I'm actually going to end because I know me and this next guest are going to talk a lot. So I want to just end this so Instagram doesn't end it for me.